Okay, this is going to be the video that explains, let's get that out of the way. This video is going to explain this this worksheet, right, or this set of steps. So we're going to start off with step 1. Insert one of the movies into Logger Pro. So first you need to have Logger Pro open. So I'm just going to open Logger Pro up. And when it says insert movie, I'm going to go insert up top and then movie right there. Now your movies are going to be in your downloads. Mine are not in downloads, so don't do what I do. Mine are on my desktop, but yours are going to be in downloads. I'm going to use Mail 5, Trial 1, and open, and it's going to show the movie right there. Now, go ahead and full screen this thing so you can make it nice and big. Yeah, go ahead and get a drink. Sorry, I'm doing this with my second house class, guys. Okay, so there we go. My movie's inserted. Now step 2, use the set scale tool to trace 40-yard course on the screen. So hey, you people in class right now that aren't paying attention, pay attention to this because you're not going to know how to do it yet. So I have to use my little tool sidebar here. So I made my tools pop up, and I'm going to choose this set scale tool. It looks like a ruler, and I'm going to trace the path that he runs. Now he's going to run right down the middle of the numbers, so I'm going to go yard line to yard line right through the middle of the numbers. So I start here right on his hand, and I'm going to trace through the middle of the numbers over to the other yard line. Don't go cone to cone, go yard line to yard line. And we know that distance is 40, and it's not yards, or it's not meters, it's yards. Okay, so there's step 2. Step 3 is set origin. Use the set origin tool to mark the beginning of the course. So again, people in class that aren't paying attention, Mary, put your phone down and watch. Use this tool right here. It's called set origin. It's right below the little dot tool. I'm going to click on that, and then I click on the starting point. So he's going to start right here where his hand is at, and now that's treating that like 0. Okay, so I just told it where 0 is going to be at the beginning. Oops, go back. Right there. And then I can adjust this little dot as well. And I'm going to make it try and line up with the green. There we go. So now it's pointing the same direction that he's running, and I know where 0 is at. Okay, now I'm going to use the add point tool to mark the runner's head every 5 frames. And this is important. See this bold part? Don't start marking until the runner starts moving. So I'm going to use my add point is over here on the right. We've used it a bunch of times, but now I got to find where he starts running. Okay, so he's moving around. He's in his stance. And ready. Where is he? There he goes. Okay. So I go back to right before he started. Right. Okay, right about there. And now I'm going to frame forward until he starts. There, I saw him move. So now I start. I'm going to put a dot on his head. And then every 5 clicks, I do a dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dot. Okay, I'm going to do this as fast as I can. If you're sitting in my class, check your Twitter or something like that. If you are watching the video, it's okay if you fast forward to the end of his run, but I want you to...
I clicked insert and movie. I went to my desktop and it's not.
It's not on your desktop, it's in your downloads.
Oh, I'm supposed to go back to the web page and download it?
Yep.
Alright. Wait, would I just drag that to my download? Like to that?
So in the download section, there's an arrow
Yeah.
up above it. Click on that arrow and it'll download it. Is there anybody in my class right now that wants to tell a joke for YouTube? Does anybody want to sing a song for YouTube? Okay, you have to come over here and tell it into the microphone though so they can hear it.
I will. No, don't steal my joke, Mary. Wait, Shelby, what was your joke?
Where do I say it?
Just say it right there.
Why does wait? What is it?
Why does Peter Pan always fly?
Oh yeah. Why is Peter Pan always flying? 'Cause he never lands.
Oh. That was a good
That was lame. That was very chicken cross the road-ish. Okay. Now, hey, in my class, listen now on YouTube. You should be listening now, so stop fast forwarding, but you can't hear that. It's fine. Okay. Near the very end, put a dot every 2 clicks, because we want to try and get it get a dot as close to 40 yards as possible. So we'll go like 1, 2, dot, 1, 2, dot, 1, 2, dot. I'm going to do one more. 1, 2, dot. Okay, good. So now I've got my dots on. Step 5 says insert a second graph. So I go to insert graph, and now I've got a second graph. Done. Use the auto arrange feature to rearrange the graphs in video. So I go up to the top, I go to page, and then I go to auto arrange, and it organizes it nicely for me. Okay, so that step's done. Step 7, change the vertical axes to x and x velocity. So remember, I just want to change these labels to x and then x velocity. And now those are usable. Okay, use the video analysis table to calculate the time that it took the runner to run 40 yards. Write your answer in your table. Okay, so everybody watch this closely now. I'm going to use the table here, this part, not the graphs, to calculate how long it took them to run the 40. So what I want to see is find the spot where it's close to 40 yards. So for me, I've got one at 40.42. So that's pretty close to 40 yards. So I'm going to use that time, 11.28. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 11.28 and then subtract 5.806. So I'm going to grab my calculator and go 11.28 minus 5.806. 5.806. And 5.474 is my 40 time. So this says write that answer in your table. So I'm going to write right here in 40 time. See, what was it? 5.474. And also make sure you write your runner number. So this was male. Male 5, trial 1. Okay. Now it says use video analysis table to find the runner's maximum velocity. So the maximum velocity, see how I've got this velocity column here? I can just look through the velocity column and find out which one's the biggest. So as I look through here, I see some 8s, and I think here's a bigger one, 8.830. Ooh, I've got a 9 right there at the end. 9.030 is going to be my biggest. So I write that in here. Maximum velocity, 9.030. That's pretty good. Okay, now this says use the x velocity graph to determine how long it takes the runner to speed up to a constant speed. Okay, so let's take a close look at this graph down here. Okay, this is the graph you want to use. And when I look at this, I think that constant speed happens right about here. So I see this speeding up, and then I see it flattening off. Well, the flat part is constant speed. This increasing part is speeding up. So I'm going to use my examine tool, and I'm going to find exactly where, right about there, is where I think that it's flattening off. So the time is 8.008. Here, I'll make that bigger so you guys can all see. Okay, so that the point where it flattens off is 8.008. So I'm going to take that and subtract that first number, 5.806, that came from right over here. And so when I do 8.008 minus 5.806, I get 2.202. So what that means is it took my runner 2.202, and that's seconds, 2.202 seconds to speed up to a constant speed. So he was increasing his speed for 2.202 seconds, and this velocity was yards per second. Okay, finally, last one. Use that same graph to calculate the acceleration during the time that the runner is speeding up. So I go back to the graph, and I'm not going to use this example anymore. Now I look at the section where he's speeding up. So I'm going to highlight that section where he speeds up, and I want to find the slope. The slope will tell me the acceleration. So I'm going to use this linear fit tool to put a line of best fit on it. And I can see that my line of best fit shows 2.428 yards per second per second. So that's 2.428 yards per second per second. And the nice thing is I'll be able to compare that acceleration to other runners. So we'll be able to see if this runner is quicker at speeding up than the other people that you measure. Okay? And then finally, other relevant trend, that would just be something like, if I looked at this, I might say that it looks like you slowed down at the very end before the finish line. So maybe that's something I could say, I see this little dip. Or if you see a spike or a dip in a weird place, you would write that in your other relevant trend as a piece of information you'd want to give to that runner. Okay, that was a lot in my class. Thank you guys for being quiet and listening. You can go watch it on YouTube now.